Now I understand better how Bonita works, or the treatments work, or the portal works, and how the queue, the items. I really understood that from the previous presentation. That was a big help. Now I want to know what I should keep my eyes on. How do I monitor my server, how they works?
Hi Poppy, that's a very nice question. Thanks for asking. So let's inaugurate a series of video to explain how to monitor and how to tune the Bonita server. Oh, by the way, if you know that image, you are welcome to give to tell me where it is. Okay. So let's first focus on the different elements. So I prepared some slides for you. So first we are speaking about the portal, the Bonita Portal. That will be the first chapter. Second, we will speak about the workers and the different ways that the workers works. And last, we will speak about the connectors. But first, with the portal, what is the meaning? We have a lot of browser accessing to the portal, and it will be part of this first chapter. So first, explain the first parameters. This is the number of threads in Tomcat. So here we are completely in the Tomcat mechanism, and it will be the same in Wildfly or whatever web applications. So let's first explain how it works. So I open here the debugger, the browser, okay, by F12, and have a look to network. And now I will connect to the server as well. Click on login and look. We have a lot of requests, a lot of communications between the browser and the server. It's not only one URL, one request, but a lot of requests. Why? Because the browser needs to access the style sheet, or need to access some information, so we need to give the list of tasks to another request or something like this. You have a lot of requests. Actually, only to display the home page, the first page, it's about 84 requests that the browser sends to the server. So now you understand that you have a lot of requests, and here it is. So on the Tomcat side, you have a pool of threads, and by default you have 20 threads. All the requests come here, but the server accepts to serve only 20 requests at a time. Why these parameters? It's only to protect the server. Okay, even if you have 2,000 requests at the same time, the server will work only on 20 requests. Where is this number? Well, you can access the server configurations. It's Tomcat server and conf, and look, the server.xml, and you have here the max thread. It's 20 by default, okay, which is it's a good number, okay, just for you. So what happened after? Actually, how these parameters works? So you have 20. So here, when you have the first 20 requests arrive, and then the Tomcat choose to a list of threads. So you have 20 threads. So we affect one request to the thread. If you have more requests at a time, the other request will be slipped. And the same you have in the parameters, the maximum slip. If you go over this number of slipped requests, then the request is cancelled and the browser will get I can't serve you. So once the request is done, then the thread will send back the answer, and then the thread is empty, is available. So another request come and will be served by the server. Last, you have to understand, so you have this number, you have the data source, because the Bonita portal uses a lot of database to get the list of tasks or something like this. So the way, if you want to configure, you have a magic formula, here it is. This magic formula means you have to keep the number of connections available for all the threads. So the magic formula is the number of elements in the Tomcat plus the number of workers plus the number of squads plus 3. But it's a magic formula, it's a maximum of thread we want to access at one time to the data source. We will speak about that number after. The sensations 20 is not enough, but look, I did some tests for you to see how it's working and how it's react. So I use a tool, the name is Gmeters, and by this tool you can build a scenario, and the scenario that I created is the login page. So I log as Walter, and that's it. So you have a lot of URL, and with that tool you can select how many users you want to play in parallel. So here let's say 80. That means with that 80 users will click and connect at the same time, at the exact same time in the server. So let's start that here. So you see 80, so it's working. And during this time, let's have a look on the I monitor the Java machine, and you can see the CPU is started. Okay, it's high. The memory, of course, is working, but nothing hard. And you see it's still working, 79, still running. Oh, the CPU go up to 100. But that means you see it's correct and the machine will handle that. Why? Because in fact, keep in mind it serves only 20 threads at the same time, and then the other request is just sleep, and when one is empty, then it gives back the CPU to that thread, and that's it. So that's perfectly correct here, and you can see here it will go down and will end. So if you have a look on the different scenarios that I build here, make some tests. So I start like this, some test with 10 in parallel, then 15 and 50 and so on and so on. And you can see without under 20, it's the same time. Actually, if I have 10 or 15, it will be exactly the same time to give you the answer because you are under the 20. After, no surprise, it's very linear because actually we are limited by the CPU, that's it. And just the user have to wait, that's it. So if I look, for example, with 15 thread, this is the CPU I did with 15, and this is another simulation I did with 100 clients at the same time. So here the CPU is not so high than I just show now, and that makes perfect sense because these parameters in Tomcat is here to protect the server. You have to fit this number to how many threads you want to serve at a time. Okay, so now you see how the server reacts. So what can we tune? Let's see that in the next video.